Hello, Zavya, and welcome to your reading. So, you wanted to know if moving out with your boys was a good move or staying with Jason that you're with for the past 6 years. So, what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna let Spirit talk and your guides on what you should know now for your better path about your own evolution and all of that. Then we're going to specify, basing on what Spirit thinks you should know now and understand about where you're at, because of course you're at a crossroad. So what are these two roads and what they would bring? Okay, so that we can have like a clear picture. Zavya, I call upon the light, I call upon the divine, I call upon the Holy Spirit. Call upon my guides, and I call upon your guides, Zavya, to come here now for the time of this reading and work with my guides so I can give you the best message of what you need to hear now for your better path, your better path. Okay. Okay, Spirit, what do you want Zavya to know now about a better path? What do you need to express? What does she need to know? I'll start with 3 cards. Okay. 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is making moves, actions, inspired actions from our higher self. So in a way, it's in order for you to make inspired movements, decisions, actions from your higher self. This is what they want to talk about, which is exactly in line with your questioning. The first card that I have is the Hangman and the King of Swords. King of Swords is your masculine side that makes decisions. Sword. This is the clarity. This is the truth. I'm seeing clearly now, and I have no problem making plans, strategies, decisions. With the Hangman, this is telling me that right now it is suspended. That's why you probably are in a fog about it. With the Hangman, it's the universe is kind of stopping everything so that you can look at the situation from a completely different angle and have that illumination. The Hangman does have this kind of halo around his head. that doesn't mean going the opposite of what you're thinking. It means what you're basing your decision on to be different. So the next card is the King of Cups, another king. And this time, here I'm going to bring them down. And this time we're talking about knowing exactly how you feel, your emotional vibration, what is happening, not acting out of overwhelmed emotions or emotional reactions, but mastering completely your emotions and having that kind of intelligence about it. King of Cups. And then I have the Queen of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. King of Swords, Queen of Swords. And you're Sagittarius. You're a fire sign. But here, those two are all about perception and decision. Queen of Swords comes after the King of Cups, because that means that she needs to have the perception for her to take the decision from a healed place. From a calm, serene, healed place. Then it will be her wisdom. And then she becomes the no bullshit queen. And with the Page of Pentacles, that can be a new opportunity, a new seed that you're planting to build your own empire, and so on. So let's clarify these cards here. Okay, King of Swords. King of Swords. Okay, there's one that flipped, and it is the Six of Wands. All right. Ten of Pentacles. The Six of Wands, this is acknowledgement. What here with the Hangman? They want you to make your decision. The thing is that you probably feel that Jason does not acknowledge you. You're at war. Six of Wands is when we come back from war, because we have nothing to prove anymore. We understood the lesson of our past cycle. That's why there's like a laurel crown on his head and on the wand. Instead of having to fight with people, they are acclaiming him because he survived and came back from war on his white horse. This is when our willpower is aligned with our heart chakra. And so our decisions are not to try and prove anything or it's more about that, or because we need to hold our boundaries, or because we need to differences of will and all of that. This is going to be from a state of not having to prove anything, because we acknowledge our worth, our value, who we are, That's why often it's going to be like a promotion if we would be talking about work, because we cannot receive a promotion outside if we don't promote ourselves first. So there's a rise in self-acknowledgement that needs to happen. You need to look at your self-value from a completely different angle. So that means not from how you are perceived outside by maybe Jason that doesn't see you, but how you see yourself inside. Ten of Pentacles, this is family, this is the structure of your family and all of that. Let's look at your King of Cups. King of Cups, King of Cups. Right now is the Five of Wands. See, Six of Wands is the balance of willpower. Five of Wands, this is when we're fighting. This is when different willpowers are all over the place. It's exhausting. It's it needs to be readjusted. Here is the Pentacle. Here is the Eight of Pentacles. That tells me that when it comes to investing oneself into you, basically, the more stable emotionally, like sure and as sound that you have what it takes to build, to see profit, to invest in yourself. This is investing in ourselves, and here is the Ace of Pentacles with that King of Cups here. Did you give away your power into building your empire? Here they're saying that emotionally you're all conflicted. And if you are conflicted, it prevents you from actually doing your thing, where you would actually build your empire. Here, Queen of Swords and Page of Pentacles. Nine of Cups, Page of Wands. That wand that you need over the Five to be in the Six. It's almost like they're saying that there's something that you need to invest yourself in for your own sake and emotional fulfillment. Maybe right now it's all fighting and you have this unease inside of you. But a good part of it is due to a lack of self-acknowledgement. And by actually investing in yourself in a seed that you probably feel inside of you but are all conflicted. Maybe your husband doesn't want you to do it, or I don't know why, but there's conflict about this. But they're saying that bringing this forward, actually aligning yourself with what you feel you want to bring out there, and that is like working. Not that you have to get a job there. It's more of bringing something that you feel that you can offer out there. And from there, this is where you're going to get that emotional fulfillment. You need emotional fulfillment outside of the home. That's what it means. Now, does that mean that you cannot have that emotional fulfillment outside of the home while being at home with Jason? Or is it possible? So that is what we're going to ask. I'm going to separate in two, like what would happen staying with Jason and leaving Jason. But the core factor here is that you need to acknowledge yourself and find that emotional stability within you. And doing that is the way to do that is to actually invest in yourself outside of the home. That means if you have something you want to create, if you have something, an idea for a business, if you have like something you're good at and that would be acknowledged outside of the home, that kind of thing. Okay, let's look here. Doing moves, that's what doing moves from our higher self is all about. I'm not doing moves to run away from conflict that makes me feel emotionally unstable. I am going to make moves for my betterment. Okay, Spirit, talk to me about what if Zavya stays with Jason? What if Zavya stays with Jason, knowing this? 7 of Cups. Give me 3 cards. 7 of Cups is Venus in Scorpio. And this is when we're kind of in a fog. We don't see what is in front of us. It's all mixed with hopes and fears. Okay. So, if you stay with Jason, here I have our 7 of Cups. This fog in front of you. And emotional projections also. So all of your old wounds and things like that, when people pushes our buttons and we can envision these super dramatic outcomes, but we cannot see truly the clarity of where's the path, where is the truth. These all my emotions are blocking my view. Then I have Justice. That means that conflict that you're feeling here with the King of Cups, okay? Whether Jason is a water sign or not is not important. The fact is that conflict is emotional. It could be emotional manipulation also a bit. But we are able to be emotionally manipulated when we are not emotionally grounded in our self-security of self-love. And that's why they want you to accomplish yourself outside so that you get that emotional contentment. Anyway, here, Justice. Can be justice of men. Maybe you'll end up divorcing. And here I have the 9 of Swords. And that is anxiety and worry and all of that. Let's look at the 7 of Cups. There you are, Queen of Wands, with the 2 of Wands. So, staying with Jason, it would be like staying on the fence, in front of those 2 paths that you can take. Leaving him, staying with him, and not knowing what you want, and being lost in that cloud of unknowing, where you have kind of illusions. And which is illusion, which is reality, you don't know. Imagining that leaving would be a castle in Spain, or imagining that if you leave, you'll end up a hobo on the street. This is all mixed up together in front of those 2 paths. But that's why the Hangman is there. They want you to make the decision once you have acknowledged yourself. Once you know in your will is in your heart chakra, you are following your truth, you're back from war, and you have nothing to prove anymore. You know your worth. Justice. So if you're not taking a decision, this is like if a decision would be taken for you. Yeah, okay. Tower. Tower and Justice, this is almost like either you end up making that decision out of it has to go to a shock. Like remaining there is not remaining in the situation of the Seven of Cups there and halfway without doing that kind of self-acknowledgement thing, working on that, is inevitably bringing a tower, bringing a moment of crash where a decision is going to be made because, and it brought a bit by the divine, like you have no choice, because that way it's impossible to reach emotional satisfaction, happiness, self-contentment with this dynamic. So they're going to crash it down and bring in justice. These are two major arcanas. Because Ten of Cups, when it comes to how you can feel happiness and exchange and see the joy of the world and all of that, it cannot grow anymore in your situation. And you have no power on Jason or the others around you. The only one you have power on is yourself. That's why the Hangman is there. Right now the universe is putting everything on pause so that you do that step. And here it brings you anxiety. Okay. Yeah. Well, I have the Two of Wands again, and here the Ten of Wands. The anxiety, the sleepless nights, about truly letting go of all of that, about the weight on your shoulders, having a hard time leaving all these wands and not seeing where you're going after that, being a loss and still in front of your two paths. It's all about taking a decision for your higher self. And here I have the Two of Wands. So in a way, staying there would just provoke the universe to crush things down. But it wouldn't be something that you would have initiated. It would happen to you for your own good, ultimately, but it would be destabilizing and filled with anxiety. Now let's look at if you do leave. Do I have anything left there? If you do leave and make your own path, because that's what they're suggesting a bit here, but let's just verify. What if Zavya does leave, take her boys and go? Two of Cups. Strength. The Tower is there too. But instead of a tower, this is happening to me, with Strength, it's crumbling our fears. It's crumbling our insecurities so that we can reach our higher self and act from our higher self. Instead of just justice coming in. And here is the Ten of Cups. And here we have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, the energy of the Seven of Swords, it's disempowerment. We are talking here about taking your power by that acknowledgement, by that I can do that, plant that, grow this, I can build my empire. let's look here. That Two of Cups. Okay, Two of Cups is all the mirrors in our lives. So, being conscious of what Jason is mirroring you. We don't pick men and, oh, I wasn't lucky on this one. They always mirror a part of us. What you complain about Jason, this is how your own masculine is treating you. How you are treating yourself. How you are talking to yourself. What you are allowing others to do and not protecting yourself. So that's why it's a mirror. When we're with somebody bad, it doesn't mean we're a bad person that does bad things to others. But we are somebody that lets that happen. And that probably we're doing it to ourselves in our own self-talk. Seven of Swords, it's a lot of disempowerment. So not believing that you have power. So if you go out there not believing that you have power, that's why there's the Hangman and the self-acknowledgement here. It's going to be much harder to build and take that seed that the universe is giving you and build on it, because you have to trust yourself and you have to know that you are able to. Inner knowing. Let's look at that Two of Cups here. Empress wanted to come out here with the Ace of Cups. Exactly. Allowing more self-love in, so that, you know, that's what you're going to mirror outside of you. So that means also in friendship, in support, and all of that. The Hermit flipped around. So the Hermit is all about following your own light, going inside, knowing your truth, and following that. This is my truth. When I'm trying to look outside, I'm all lost there. Okay? I don't, because I have my wounds and my this and my that. Going inside and finding your own truth is when, you know, in silence, take a big breath. And you're like, how do I feel? You actually talk to your Empress. How do you feel, Zavya? You're going to have right away an answer in your heart. And that, at that point, that's your truth. So how are you going to act about it? If your child would tell you that, what you're going to feel in your heart, as a protective mother, what would you do? Or as your masculine, your own masculine, what are you going to do about it? And you have to reach the point with your self-acknowledgement that it's going to be, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that you are protected. If somebody says something hurtful, without any craziness, I can say, oh, I'm sorry. This doesn't belong to me. You're lashing out. I am not taking this. And that's it. With having nothing to prove, there's no fighting. And that's it. Hermit, I am finding my truth. If your truth is getting out of there, then that's what he's doing. And he's walking slowly towards his new path. He has one wand in his hand, the Hermit. And the star in his lantern is the six-pointed star, the Star of David. Because the six-pointed star is the triangle of the masculine and the triangle of the feminine, one on top of the other, making a complete being. So your intuition and your actions as one And that is what is guiding him. Your truth, your inner truth, and acting accordingly. Strength. Okay. Strength to leave everything behind. Strength to know that there is more out there. Strength to follow what your inner high priestess is telling you. And in the story of the tarot, the hermit went to visit the high priestess, found his truth, and that is what is guiding him. So here, the strength to take the decision to go for emotional fulfillment. And here, 10 of Cups, because at that point, that's what I was telling you, you've reached your ceiling. You cannot be more fulfilled. You need that Ace of Cups from 8 to get to the 9. Okay? So, here, 10 of Cups. And here is your Queen of Swords, and here is your King of Swords. How can that be more clear? And there is justice. So you see how the process towards justice, instead of, to bring back balance over feeling like this, and here I have the High Priestess and the Divine Masculine just under. This is a soul lesson for you of readjusting your Divine Masculine here, to empower your Divine Masculine. Justice coming through a clear decision for your happiness, for your fulfillment. King and Queen of Swords, King and Queen of Swords. Do you see what I mean? This is exactly what Spirit was talking about. Making that decision from your higher self, so that the moves you make are from your higher self and not from a conflict, a reaction, or anything like that. 6 of Wands, that inner acknowledgement. And that is what the universe has been waiting for you to do. It's not the decision per se, it is from where you're doing it. And here it is going to be by looking at a different angle, at the mirrors in your life, at what Jason is actually showing you. Knowing your truth, using your strength, not to be in your fears and all of that, because we know that if that happens, you're stuck in the 7 of Cups. But to know better, let your inner self, your acknowledged inner self that knows better, take the lead and make that inner decision that I have the right to be happy and I am going to go for my fulfillment. There's a seed there. That means that I can invest in myself, and financially I'll be supported, from what I do. And this is going to be a balanced decision. Justice, King of Swords and Queen of Swords. You're going to remove the dynamic of disempowerment that you've been allowing into your life. So you can look at what those 6 years were about. Where did you lose your power? It can go back, much further and start with your father even. The Emperor is, the father figure is the first masculine that we encounter, and it's our first reference. So usually it starts there. You wouldn't have attracted Jason and have to understand the dynamic of losing one's power if that wasn't part of your, anyway, it says that it's part of your soul's quest of incarnating here in this situation with this programming to overcome. And this is part of it. So these are your two choices. I hope that this brought clarity to you, Zavya. And I'm going to send you all my love and light. Yeah. So remember that it's all about from where you're going to make your moves. Okay? Love and light.